They called them the Black Panthers, a name that struck fear in enemies and unease in their own army. It was 1944. Europe was burning, but America's most powerful tanks weren't just fighting Nazis, they were fighting prejudice.
Their motto was simple: come out fighting. And soon, the world would learn exactly what that meant.
Before the war, the U.S. Army didn't believe black soldiers could handle tanks. They were told they lacked courage, discipline, and intelligence.
But in 1942, under pressure from civil rights leaders, the War Department relented and formed the 761st at Camp Claiborne, Louisiana.
Hot, humid, segregated. They trained under brutal conditions, taunted, ignored, and often refused service in nearby towns.
Yet they became elite. Their commander, Lieutenant Colonel Paul Bates, saw their worth and demanded the Army do the same.
When war came calling, the 761st was ready. But Washington hesitated, still unsure if they could be trusted in combat.
Then came General George S. Patton. He didn't care about skin color, only results.
Patton looked them in the eye and said, "I don't care what color you are, as long as you kill Germans."
And so, in the fall of 1944, the Black Panthers rolled out, their tanks roaring toward the front lines of France.
Their first battle, the brutal Lorraine Campaign. Rain, mud, and chaos. The perfect nightmare for tank crews.
German Panthers and anti-tank guns waited for them, hidden in the mist.
But the 761st didn't stop. They charged through fire and steel, smashing through enemy lines.
One tank commander radioed, "We're hit, but we're still moving." They refused to turn back.
For 183 consecutive days, they fought. Through France, through Belgium, into Germany. They liberated towns the world forgot. Places scarred by war and saved by men history almost erased.
When the Battle of the Bulge erupted, the coldest, bloodiest fight of the war, they were thrown into the front lines once again.
190s to 200s. White units had fallen back, but the Black Panthers held their ground.
Tank after tank burned in the snow, yet their lines never broke.
Villagers whispered, "The Americans are here." They didn't know those heroes were black.
By spring 1945, the 761st had fought its way into Austria. They had destroyed over 130 enemy tanks and captured thousands.
But victory brought no welcome parade. No medals, no recognition.
When they returned home, they faced the same racism they had left behind. Restaurants refused to serve them. Newspapers barely mentioned them. America was proud of its victory, but silent about who helped win it.
One soldier wrote in his diary, "We fought 2 wars, one against Hitler and one against hate."
For decades, their story faded into shadows, their valor buried under history's silence.
But the men of the 761st never forgot. They carried their scars and their pride until the world finally listened.
In 1978, 33 years after the war, President Jimmy Carter awarded them the Presidential Unit Citation.
One of them, Staff Sergeant Reuben Rivers, was honored posthumously with the Medal of Honor.
He had stayed behind in his burning tank, covering his men's retreat even as it exploded.
His final words, "Get the hell out of here. I'll hold them off." And he did.
The Black Panthers had finally received their due, but too many had died before they could hear thank you. Their legacy lived on, inspiring new generations of soldiers and the civil rights movement that followed. In the end, the 761st didn't just break enemy lines, they shattered the barriers of America's own soul. Their tanks bore the emblem of a Black Panther, silent, deadly, unstoppable, 370s to 380s. They fought for a country that didn't fight for them, and still they came out fighting.
380s to 390s, remember them. The 761st Tank Battalion,
the Black Panthers of WWII